this part will flip out, this part will flip out, the handle will go away, and then we get... hold on, have I made a boo-boo here?
Alpha, the Falcon is back. Prepare for him a part work with attitude.
Hello and welcome to the next episode of Build the Megazord, where we are going to be looking at issue 16 this time, and we of course are continuing with the Mastodon head. But before we get started on that, I just want to say thank you for engaging in the conversation of last week, where we dream about the Megazord, or not a Megazord, a Dragonzord coming out in the same scale as this Megazord, which still would be awesome. I want to highlight in particular this comment by Jeremy Lemmings, who said the Dragonzord tail tip needs to be motorized, and I completely agree. I cannot believe that I forgot about that. How awesome would it be to finally have a Megazord with a motorized tail tip finally, so it can cause lots of damage? And you know, with the size that the Dragonzord would be, you could easily get a motor into that tail, or even the section before the tail tip, if that has to be kind of fixed to the tail tip to get that motorized action, that would be awesome. So Altaya, please, if you are thinking about doing a Dragonzord, we want a tail tip that is motorized and spins. We want light up eyes, and we want the light up flashing chest piece as well, and then everything else just as the SOC Dragonzord. That will be so beautiful. And of course, if you know a Dragonzord does come out and it doesn't have the motorized tail tip because they feel it's too dangerous or something like that, I'm sure that if we go into the world of modding, some modders out there may be able to do that. You know, there's a whole community of modders for part work builds, for those that don't know. Places like Model Mods, for example, they've got a whole website on different mods for part work builds. Mike Lane has done some additional stuff as well, and yeah, so it'll be really good to get some mods in that Dragonzord, and maybe even in that this Megazord as we go along. If we see anything that wants modding, maybe I'll reach out to Model Mods on Mike Lane and see if they can improve it. I don't know. I can't foresee anything like that happening, but it would be really cool to have that option to make the Megazord the best it can be, because that is the dream. You know, we've got the size, we'll have the paintwork, we'll have the articulation, we'll have the 5-in-1 mechanics, so it'll be really cool just to add that little pièce de résistance that maybe the vanilla part work doesn't have. I haven't seen them yet, like I say, but if we do come across them, we can reach out to modders and get the Megazord that we all want. And speaking of this Megazord, I'm going to stop waffling here. Let's get started on the parts we get in issue 16, more Mastodon head as you know, and we are building the handle that goes into the back of the Mastodon head. Well, the handle's already built, but we're building a contraption that attaches the Mastodon head to its body when it's in Zord mode and makes it the shield when it's in Megazord mode. So the first thing you'll need to get is the handle, which I've already mentioned, and this half of the inner contraption. You'll need the half that both halves are slightly different. This one's got this long kind of screw area here. You don't want that one, you want the one with the peg that will go into eventually, just so you know that you've got the right piece. And then we get these rubber parts here, which will help with the movement of the handle. So you just pop it onto the little stalk there and push that into the hole. Might be easier actually if I push it into the hole and then push the right peg the right way around in there like that. So that's how it should look at the end of this stage. We then need to get this part here. Now this part looks like it's nothing, but it's actually very important. Actually, if I just get the SOC Mastodon head, this part here is this little flippy part here. You can't see it with all the black. But this flips down to attach the head to the Zord when it's in Zord mode, and then will flip up to hide away when it's the shield. So that is the part that we are attaching. So looking at that will help you guide which way that this should go. And basically we want this connector part here to be facing outwards when you push it in, and then it will flip away and hide away like that. Or actually it hides away to a little groove. So maybe this one will be slightly different because it's not flush when you push it away. It's got this little groove, but when you pull it out, it's got this big groove to connect it. So slightly different, but the function will be the same, I'm sure. We then just need to close this all off. So we get the next rubber part, put it on the other side of the handle, and then push everything else together, lining everything up. So making sure that that part goes in the hole there. That part, I've done it again. I don't know why I keep putting it on the peg part and not the actual handle. So there we go. So that will line up, that will line up. That needs to just find its hole. And then that will line up. Get in there slowly. This handle is not playing ball. Okay. Okay, there we go, a little click there. And then what we need to do is we need to screw it into this screw hole here and this screw hole here to fasten it all up. And there it is, all done. Nice and secure, and this handle has some, you know, again, just perfect movement, not too soft, not too hard, just really, really nice, and just tucks all the way in there. I imagine that goes inside the head when it's all done, and then you just will get this to flip it up for the handle for the shield. Looking very nice. Now there's just a couple more things that we need to attach onto this part of the Mastodon, and they are more handles to secure it when it's in the Zord mode. So you'll need this metal spoke here. We saw this with the saber-toothed tiger legs. It's just a larger version of that. So that will just fit in there very nicely. It's got a hexagonal shape on the other side that fits in with the hexagonal shape there. I'll show that properly on the next one. And then that just pushes in there like that. So flip it around and we'll do the next one. So you see it's got this flat part which will be sticking out. We've got this hexagonal bit in the middle, and then we've got a circle bit on the other side. So we just line it up with the hexagonal shape. Yep. And then just pop that on there like that. And these are also parts that will move to help secure the head to the Zord when it's all done. So this part will flip out, this part will flip out, the handle will go away, and then we get, hold on, have I made a boo-boo here? Because I can't actually flip that out. I've made a boo-boo. I've actually trapped this part inside. So I'm just going to quickly unscrew this. And actually, it also means, I've also learnt that I was wrong with what the other handle was. So if I just quickly just unscrew this. Okay, there we go. Let's flip this handle back around so it's actually out, and then line up everything again and screw it back in. Yeah, so it's not an extra flap to attach it to the body when it's in Zord mode. It would actually be, oops, what am I trying to say? It will actually be the little flap that we pick at to get it out. Right, I'll just show you what I mean. Let me just screw this all back in. So that is nice and secure. Okay, so when you want to attach the head to the Zord, you flip that bit down because that'll peg in, flip that bit down, that'll peg in, that bit's already flipped down, and then when you want to put it away as a shield, you push that down, and then you'll flip up this part, tuck it away. And I thought that was an extra connector, but it's not. That will be the thing you push down to get that part out when you want to attach it into the Zord. And actually that works a lot better than it does on the SoC Megazord, purely because it's bigger. You know, you just push that down, get the flap out, looks great. If we get the SoC Megazord part, it is much smaller. I'm just going to zoom in. It is much smaller. So that is the flap like that. And then we push it all back around there. You see, it is harder. Oh, it does have the same notch. It is harder to kind of push that because it is so much smaller. You really have to apply force and push it down. So it works exactly the same way. I'm just going to show it one more time. Push it away for the shield mode. And these, of course, are the same flaps. They're grey on the Altaya one, but they're black here. So they just push down out of the way. they just push down out the way. To get this back out, flip around. To get this one back out, flip. Oh no. Flip around. Oh no, but I can't seem to get that out now. Maybe it isn't easier. But that is where everything will go anyway. And of course, we can kind of picture where this is going to go in the back of the head, because you've got the handle tucked in there. You'll have the handle tucked in here. If we just get the head back, we've got this electrical wire that we need to be careful of. But in time, actually looking at this, sorry you can't see, let me zoom out. Looking in this, we have this groove here and this groove here. Now I think in time we'll be pushing these parts into those grooves, but what I've done is I've pushed these parts in, so the flat part is facing this way, and I think they need to come back round and go in. Well, they can't go straight up, but maybe they go at an angle like that. Let me just try this. Try and get the same angle. That's not the same angle. Okay, so they are now at the same angle. I imagine, yeah, they will just push in to those grooves like that. So actually it might be slightly off. Maybe go at a slightly lower angle. So you see it's got lower here. This one's going up a bit. So let's just pull that out. Pull that round. And then that should slide in there eventually. Yeah, that feels better to me, because you've got those bits sliding into that gap there. Yeah, looking great. You can see through it into that wire, so I hope that wire is going to not get in the way. But anyway, I'm getting really ahead of myself and making a mess for the end of this video. So let's attach it back correctly. Got that part there, that part there, that like that, that like that. All done. That is that part all done. So yeah, just showing off some kind of inner workings of how it's all going to attach at a later date. So that is the end of this video. Next week we are building a very iconic part of the Mastodon head, and we are coming to the end of the Mastodon head pieces. A few more weeks with the Mastodon head, and then we're moving on to something else. So I hope you will join me for that. As always, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know what you think of the build. If you want it in your country, share this video series to the part work producers of your country to get it made, and I hope to see you next time. So until then guys, take care, bye bye.